You have reached the public service. Ask yourself one question. Are you a taker or a maker? As with any situation in life, is your situation taking or making you happy? This is a public service show, and I'm Sandra.
And I'm Kirk.
And today's topic is, we're members of the human race, but are we proud of it? So, let's start with number one.
Do you want to start with this one or you want me to?
Go for it. All
right. How do we treat our environment? Let me think. Poorly. Poorly. We have dug, squeezed, scrounged, drilled, spewed crap into the skies from Aquanet all the way through to, factories blowing nasty bilge. I mean, there are places in the world right now where, looking through it looks like you're looking through one of those headlights with orange fog on them from the corrosion over time. I mean, that's what the air quality looks like. It's.
I recently, I believe it was a few years ago, looked at a map of the space garbage around our planet. Y'all ought to pull it up. It's very interesting. All these rockets, we go, oh, how beautiful, beautiful. But the minute they get outside of our atmosphere, they start throwing off pieces. Not only is there rocket debris out there, you should see how many companies have satellites out there. I don't even know how they navigate through them. There's so many. But go to your search engine, whatever that search engine is, and look at this garbage just around our planet. One day an alien's going to come see us and knock the crap out of us for just being polluters.
That's right, you biblical people, aliens. And I can't wait for that day to come and blow religion into dirt. Right. But you're right. I mean, I've seen that you've described. I mean, it looks, it looks like a landfill for the earth.
It's like you can see the earth, you can see the atmosphere, and then it's just garbage all the way around. I wish I had a photograph, but you can go and look for yourself. Craziness. Just insanity. And every time they go up, they throw more garbage up there. I see them, not a single one, come back with it, though.
No. Oh, no.
And I don't see anybody sending up rockets. And it's not just the United States, Russia, China. All of them do it.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody who's got a space program is polluting around our planet. And every once in a while when people say, oh, it's aliens coming in. No. That's space garbage coming back through our atmosphere. They just don't want to tell you how much is out there. It's a lot. So when you see those streaks and stuff burning up, that's it.
Yeah.
It's re-entering our atmosphere. And people find, metals and things all the time. And they're like, where did this come from? I'm telling you, check that map out. And
it's hilarious because, they all tout because they've screwed the planet up so bad down here that, of course, they all float the ridiculous idea that we need to colonize Mars or some other place because Earth won't be, habitable. But, well, guess what? Take a look at the ring around the Earth. I mean, that's exactly what they have every intention of doing to whatever planet they try to colonize. I mean, it's just a mess.
If we could charge them recycling tax like they do us every time we get a cup or something like that. I want to charge all of those wealthy companies recycling money so they can go up there and recycle that crap.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, you left 59 rockets. Each rocket is worth $2.8 million in recycling.
Yeah.
Are you in?
I'm in. I like
I'm
that.
in.
That's when we get some
Clean
of this
our
other stuff
environment up.
cleared up, that definitely needs to be at the top of the list of things that needs to get done. That's for sure.
Yeah. I want to charge them $1 million or more, whatever it costs to bring that crap back down.
That's of course around the planet, but what about on it?
Air. Our air is extremely polluted because of our travel.
It's disgusting.
Our planes, our cars, our trains, all of them pollute the atmosphere, which is, I don't care if you believe it or not, it's called global warming and global cooling. We have to say both for people don't realize what it is. So what is actually happening is that we used to have more moderate temperatures, and now it's at both extremes. They just decided to use one, the heated element, because that's truly the most dangerous right now, is that our oceans are heating up and our planet's heating up. But in the winter, you see we have extreme winters too. So in the winter, when you guys say, where's the global warming? Well, it's called seasons. We're in a different season. It's a winter season, and the winter seasons are becoming more extreme as well. Do a little reading, understand what they mean, what it is when your atmosphere changes, when your polar ice caps change, and what happens to the atmosphere of the planet. I don't need to go into all of it because you can do your own studying and figure it out.
Yeah.
But
well, before we, I also want to make sure we touch base on this current push towards nuclear power. Folks, if
3 Mile
Chernobyl,
Island.
3 Mile Island, the was it Fugasaki, Japan?
Yeah.
About
Nagasaki.
15, no.
That
the
was
bomb.
nuclear. Yeah.
I mean, like
No,
it was
I
like
don't remember that one.
Fukushima. There's been 3 or 4 major nuclear disasters, and what it does to the environment, and not just the direct, but miles and miles of the environment. And this is the answer. This is what some are floating. Oh, we need more nuclear power. Let's flatten the planet even further. Let's have whole regions of the world that are dead for 1,000 years. I mean, they're now doing studies of surrounding areas around Chernobyl, and they're finding mutated species. Seriously?
Okay. The bad part about it is that humans cannot survive radiation. It causes cancer. That's all you need to know. So when you hear a breach, the first thing they do is they use the surrounding water to try to cool down the core. Now, to understand how hot a core of a nuclear plant is, it could go theoretically, it's called the China syndrome, through the entire planet and come out at the other side. That's extremely hot, hotter than lava. So get that in your processes. That's why when a nuclear plant has a heating, a cooling issue, that's extremely sensitive. We don't live well with radiation. That's why when you go to your doctor, they say, oh, you can only be radiated this many times. More than that creates cancer cells. So think about nuclear power plants as large places that can cause a lot of cancer, and that's why most countries outlawed it. They found cleaner, better sources of power. And nuclear power, I believe, on this planet should be abolished 100%. Our country needs to go to cleaner, like wind power, solar power. None of that is cancer causing. None of it hurts the environment. None of it kills all the birds. It's clean and it is infinite. As long as we have air flowing and sun, you can, well, wait a minute. They are developing new panels that work at night as well. So it can't just be like solar, sun, but they will have panels soon that will draw from the rays at night. So we will always have generated power, which I find is wonderful. And that power, if you have batteries, you can always have it. Yep. Unlike when our power grid gets unstable and we lose power, and you're over here calling your power company, waiting for hours as your food defrosts in your refrigerator and other things go wrong. You don't have that with that clean energy. I like it.
Yep. And hydro, don't forget hydro power.
Energy. If you're close to a water system, you know, that's another thing that you can use as well, hydropower.
Yep.
Right? And none of that hurts the environment. None of it. So moving on to number 2, how do we treat animals?
Wow.
Well, some of us have had pets. I have. I've had pets most of my life. In fact, I would like to say all of my life, I've had pets. And I've seen the mistreatment. We've all seen the commercials. Animals starving, no food, abused, used as, you know, roosters, cockfighting, dog fighting, all the things that a responsible pet owner would never do to their animal, ever. Because I've heard people say that animals like dogs and things like that don't have souls. I'm going to dispel that, because if they didn't have a soul, they wouldn't have different personalities. It's that simple. And it wouldn't cry when you hurt it. It wouldn't ask for food, because if it was soulless, it would know that it was, you know, it had a higher thinking.
I think if an animal didn't have a soul and it was hungry, you better watch out. Because you're food.
Well, we are food to some animals anyway.
Well, I'm talking the domesticated ones. You know, if they didn't have.
Well, no,
I don't understand how. I'm just saying, you know, I mean, that was using it as an example.
You know, maybe I didn't explain it well.
No, you
because
did.
they
I
just
thought you did.
think they don't have feelings. And I tried to explain to this person, I'm like, if they don't have feelings, why are they all different? Just like we are. They all crave different things, want different things, different motivators, and all kinds of other things. So, you know, to treat an animal or a pet like it doesn't have feelings says a lot about you.
I think so.
So, yeah, and I don't like how I recently found out that the reason why chicken breasts are so large is because we watched a documentary on the chemicals they give chickens. And chickens are left in this large room where their chicken breasts are so big that they can't even walk. They just sit in this room their entire lives, suffocating amongst each other in their own excrement.
Yep.
It was the worst thing I've ever seen, and I'm telling you, I haven't eaten chicken since.
Nope. I used to be a huge chicken guy, and I haven't touched it.
Oh, yeah. He was, when I met him, chicken. But I like chicken too, but I had no idea. Please do yourself a favor and go see some of these documentaries on how chickens and cows are raised. Even cows are fed large amounts of hormones and all kinds.
Disgusting.
Both of them are, right? And
pigs, cows, any animal that is used for mass food
is abused.
It's just disgusting how people can stuff that in their mouths knowing that it's horrendous. And you know, I get it. We all have a certain amount of out of sight, out of mind syndrome. And, you know, and I'm not telling you that everybody has to go run out and be vegan or vegetarian, but think about that from time to time. You know, support the places that not only say that they raise and treat their animals humanely, but show that they do. I mean, there's plenty of places out there that their chickens are free range. They're free to roam around. They're healthy. You know, they may not be the biggest chicken on, but how much do you really need? I mean, okay, it's, you know, the cows are taken care of. They're free range cows. You know, pigs that are taken care of. I mean, there are companies out there, and they promote it. I mean, this is their shtick. This is what, and it takes 5 minutes to validate that. Yes, I'm eating animals that were humanely taken care of and lived the life, and it doesn't take a lot. I mean, it's not like some Herculean effort for you to, just pay attention to what it is you're sticking in your mouth. Pay attention to these animals. You see the animals running around in your community. I believe they have souls. I'm 100% with you. Our pets, they got, first of all, they're smarter than us.
And they have big time personalities.
Big time personalities.
I mean,
Holy
they
cow.
allow us to feed them and to walk them and to pet them when they want it. It's not at our discretion any longer. And I better lower my voice because one's just right outside the room, and she has a tendency to be big time mad.
And think about what your pets do for you.
Yeah.
Hard day at work, or you traveled for work, or whatever. You're out and about, and you come home, you're tired, you run down, and there's your pet. Open paw, loving the minute you walk through the door.
Or claw.
I mean, they are such an important part of
the family unit.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. So I'm perusing Project 2025, and I'm getting stuck on page 37 as they're trying to blow smoke up everybody's backside about bringing back the family unit and stuff. Well, guess what? The pet's a part of that. These animals, they're a part of that. And people like Christy Nome off blowing their poor puppy away because it wouldn't listen. I mean, really, it's a puppy. So, these are part of our family.
I understand there are cultural differences here sometimes too, but you can do your own work. Go to a pet shelter. Talk to people that you trust. Talk to veterinarians. They'll tell you the truth, that all animals have a soul. And a lot of us don't want to think that. The rest of us know that, because a little bit of guilt comes with that. What did you do to yours? Or what did you do to someone else? I think with a certain segment, that might be why they like to believe that, so that they can treat them any way that they want to and not have any guilt.
Yeah.
Well, I'm invoking guilt because if it's alive, it feels pain. That's all you need to know. It's alive. And you know that you've seen them dead, so you know that they feel pain. So when the next time you want to raise your hand or whatever, and I'm not talking to everybody, just that certain segment that doesn't believe that you are harming something because it has no soul, if it cries when you hurt it, it has a soul. It feels just like you do. And even though you don't want to believe that, it's true. And you're marking your soul when you do that. You're putting black marks on you because you choose not, or choosing superiority over empathy. That's never a good policy as far as I'm concerned. I'm an empathist all the way through.
When my amazing wife puts these shows together and does some of this work and this research, you're welcome. The reason it's on here is because this is painting a picture. We as human beings, a higher life form, at least some of us are, you are how you treat the lowest of us. And these animals, they rely on us to care for them because we've taken their habitats, we've destroyed their living conditions, and we've thrown up fences around them and drugged them into our homes. So the onus is on us to take care of these beings, and it really paints a very distinct picture of what kind of person you are. There's a reason why one of the first telltale signs of a serial killer is what they do to animals, because this is where they usually start.
That's exactly right.
And that's really all you need to know. And please, for Pete's sake, end the veal industry. Come on, man. If I have to drive by and see one more farm with a bunch of poor little tiny cows stuffed inside a 2-foot by 2-foot fence and kept there with no exercise to keep their poor little limbs soft and just disgusting. You veal people, find another way. Eat veal parmesan. The eggplant isn't going to talk back to you.
Eggplant parmesan.
That's what I mean.
Veal.
Well, not veal. I mean, my apology. I did say veal. I mean, eggplant parmesan. You know what I mean? The plant.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just disgusting.
Quite devastating when there's a farm close by where we live that recently had the small cages, and I didn't understand what they were. So, of course, I did my research, and I'm like, oh, my God, let them. And you can see the mom cows just like yards away crying for their babies, and they have milk and stuff that the babies should be having, but they're feeding the babies some kind of food to fatten them up, I guess, for the slaughter. And I don't know how old they are when they kill them, but they're so young. And I have to tell you, I've never really eaten veal, and I'm glad I haven't. Because when somebody told me prior to somebody offering it to me what it was, I said, no, thanks. It's baby cow. I'm like, oh my gosh. And then they scolded me. They go, well, you eat chicken eggs. I'm like, yeah, but it's not alive. That's the, it's like, well, I eat chicken eggs, but I don't eat live, baby chickens.
No. I don't eat live baby anything.
I know.
Baby spinach. That's as close to baby as I get.
I know. It's just...
Okay. How do we take care of our water? Oh, gee. Well, we can always start back with the nuclear plants, or we can fast forward to the most current technological wonder that's getting ready to destroy our water supply. Hello, AI data centers. But we need to go much farther back. I can remember, so this is a little nugget for all you gotta have manufacturing back on these shores people, the ones who think that they're going to get a $40 or $50 an hour job turning a single bolt. That isn't going to happen. I can remember as a kid, I grew up on the East Coast, and I can remember as a kid the old steel mills like up the Ohio River, Pennsylvania, Ohio, the Rust Belt. And this was in the 70s. And the water looking like chocolate milk. And that's a clean day. I can remember story after story, year after year, month after month as a kid of these steel mills just belching crap into the water supply. And it just continues. Fast forward to today. You've got just story after story of crap that is just being pumped into the water supply. And let's not forget all the different chemicals that we're pouring all over our food. I can't speak for the rest of the world. I live here in America, so I'm going to speak about our country. They've passed laws because of corporations. You can't give away extra food that's grown. They throw it away. You can't give away extra food at the end of the night from a restaurant that has leftovers. It's against the law. They throw it away. And they generate just tons and tons of food and stuff that they're just throwing away. And how are they generating tons of food? GMO, Roundup, crap, more crap and crap. I mean, we eat corn 2 or 3 times a year. The birds won't even eat it. A corn doesn't even, and non-GMO corn doesn't exist. All this coming from our water. I mean, we just recently had notices where the drinking water, what are they called again? Forever chemicals? Mm-hmm. Let me let you get in here. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling.
No, I understand. The forever chemicals are a real problem. They started in the United States with Roundup in our farms, and they used it to keep the weeds down. They didn't find out until years later that it was a carcinogen, which means it's toxic to human life. Well, fast forward to today. Okay, this is going to be a bit of a lesson here. Even though Roundup started in the United States, this is how it moved around the world. They watered their plants. The water is absorbed by the heat, the sun, which makes clouds, and it takes those chemicals up in the cloud system. And when the clouds start to rain around the world, it drops chemicals everywhere. Now, the chemicals are also absorbed in the sea, where we're also throwing all of our garbage. When I was a little kid, we were watching a movie, and in the movie my dad was watching, it was an old Western or something, but I don't know how they ended up by the sea. There was a garbage barge, they used to call it. And I asked my dad, I said, what are they going to do with that garbage? He goes, drop it in the sea. And I go, why? I go, isn't the water going to be dirty? And he said, yes. He goes, I don't know why they do that. They should do something better with it. So Roundup containers end up in the sea. Europe, they talk about the forever chemicals that come down in the rain. They're doing a lot of what they call greenhousing to try to protect their citizens, which is probably what we should be doing here. Removing soil as much as we can and purging it, because they're forever chemicals. One of the worst chemicals, or maybe not a chemical, more of an object, is plastics. We've dropped so much plastic in the ocean that it's literally washing up shores everywhere, clothes, whatever. It's all plastic.
Oh, yeah.
And I see other nations with just piles and piles of garbage and clothes and plastic. Our animals, our sea life is loaded with it, just trying to eat. Now, how is that helpful in a global society?
It's not.
How is that wonderful? And I don't think the United States is the only one that's doing this.
Oh, I know it's not.
But there you have it. We are polluting the planet. Now, as a human, am I proud of that? That's our subject of today. No, I am not. In fact, I'm one of the advocates. I'm one of those bleeding heart people that say, clean this mess up. You know, and there are countries that know how to do it, but they don't want to spend the money to do it here. I don't understand why, but I hope we get to revisit. No, there are people that want to do it. It is money, but I said that.
Well, I mean, you know, the governments, they don't enforce it. They don't care. You know, I mean, if you got a barrel of toxic chemicals and to properly deal with it costs some $10,000 a barrel, and the fine for dumping that barrel in a place that wasn't a recycling approved center
It's 2 cents.
is 2 cents. So
I just made that
what
up.
are they going to do?
Because that's what it seems
it's
like.
more like $100. It's
Or less.
It's nothing.
Yeah.
It's certainly not 10 grand.
So they choose to pay that. He's right. They choose to pay that. But there was one other thing that I wanted to get into before we talk about that. There's a thing called fracking that they do in the United States and southern states. And I don't know if the United States is the only one that does fracking. I'm sure it's not, because it's some stripping the soil and everything of its nutrients and leaving back. Absolutely. The land, the water, everything can not be used for, I mean, a long time. It is gone, stripped of all possible healthy nutrients that can support life. It's called fracking.
Well, what they do is they pump water into these
Piece of hair.
caves and mines that's what fracking is. They pump, they dig it out by pumping water in, and then that water is contaminated. And it also makes the ground unstable.
Yeah, but there's some sort of
and-
machines that they use
Yes.
that have toxins in it. I didn't really do my own homework on fracking, but I just remember the byproduct of fracking was you get nothing. And I think it was sold in some of the southern states as it's not very bad. It's not bad at all. And then after the fracking started and people couldn't even grow their lawns or anything anymore, and their water was so contaminated that they had to drink bottled water, they kind of figured it out, that they were lied to. So, yeah, that was one of the things that, how do we care for our water with fracking and pollutants, right? It's not good.
Well, it also carries over into our next topic, too.
Yes, it does. And I believe, mister, that is that mine?
That's
Okay.
yours.
How do we treat our lands? How do we treat our lands? What do we do to our land besides chemicals, stripping it of all trees and nutrients, which is bad?
Yeah, I mean, you could pretty much do almost a full stop at chemicals and only be hitting like 2% of the problem, but that's bad enough.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah. And I think that at some point we got our farmers and people got into, I want it quick and fast, and I don't care how much damage I do to get it.
Bingo.
You know, it's like, I want my crops to grow super, super fast. I don't care if it destroys the soil. I'll go buy some more soil or something like that. Or, I don't care if I have to move my operation as long as I get it quick and fast. And I don't know how we've lost patience, but it seems like we have, for profit. Lack of patience for profit.
Money. It always boils
back.
down to money.
And how did we get to a point where we value that over human life? Because you really are making a decision. If I'm willing to poison everybody, but look at how much cash I have. Yeah, but you're poisoning people, so aren't those your customers? So you're poisoning your customers because of a quick turnaround in money. Well, what happens if most of your customers die? I don't think that's ever thought of.
Oh, no, they don't care about that.
But they do take the odds that, I'm using this chemical, it's a slow death, I'll still get more money out of them. You think that's what they think?
Well, they end abortion so that they force people to have more people, and they figure that they can just continually breed a ready-made block of constituents and customers. That's how they think. I mean, it's been said out loud.
It is that way. We can always make more people. But what happens when the people stand up to you and say, we don't want this anymore? And that could happen as well, too. You may have your day in the sun, is what they call it. But we may get our our night with you on the run, because poisoning people for any amount of money should never be allowed.
I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. You know, I tell you, you want to know another byproduct of all this? Of the births that are taking place, at least in this country, how many are handicapped? How many are autistic? How many have Down syndrome? How many have all of these different maladies where a very large chunk of these people are only moderately going to contribute to society in any meaningful form? Most of them are going to be on some kind of assistance or need help. And that kind of blows out the whole, well, we're going to breed more. Well, you're breeding more people who aren't going to use your products because they are handicapped due to all the chemicals and crap that you're putting in the water and in the land and air.
And he's right. And the cancer rates.
There you go.
I mean, are they going up? Is that something that's not, that's not exposed to us? That's possible too. Because when you base your society on money and you have lobbyists at every corner saying, don't release this information, don't release that information, here's some money to your congressmen and your senators and blah, 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 right? So everything's watered down. Do we have the real information? Sometimes I wonder, they like to make a lot of money off of cancer drugs, a lot of money. So much money that people have to have fundraisers just to pay for cancer drugs. They're so expensive. And I've heard rumors that they do have cures for cancer. But why cure it when you have pharmaceutical companies out there that can make more than $300,000 or $400,000 a year selling you something you can't afford? I'm just speculating because that's what it looks like to me.
And that's 300,000 or 400,000 per person, right?
Yes, annually for some cancer drugs. It's extremely expensive, and that's why you see fundraisers. Hey, so and so has cancer, and the insurance only covers this much. They need this much. Why does it cost so much? Well, you can go to those CEOs of the pharmaceutical companies and they're denying you coverage even though you pay all your premiums on time. And they get the maximum amount of money. Why would they cover that when that would eat into their profits? Come on, you're just one of many. That's what happens there. You're denied coverage you paid for. And why? Back to the lobbyists. The lobbyists are out there saying, we don't want you to lose any money. Keep those yachts. Keep those expensive cars. It's just one of many. And if nobody knows about A, B, C, and D, because we keep all that stuff in-house, then with no full disclosure, we don't know how many people are truly dying because of the expense, but I suspect most.
Money, money, money.
I mean, there are some cancers that can't be cured, but there's a lot that can. And with early diagnosis and the right kind of drugs, affordable drugs, a lot of people can survive.
I mean, if we were taking care of our land, water, and environment, guess what?
We wouldn't probably have that many cancer.
Go way down.
Exactly. Cancer rates would drop because a lot of cancer is environmental. Very few people are born with cancer. So if you think of it that way.
Yeah.
In fact, it's minuscule how many people are born with. We're all born with cells that have potential.
Yeah.
But are we in an environment that grow cancer? They grow cancer cells. What are we eating? Is it unhealthy? Yeah. Here
Very
it is.
unhealthy.
So, how do we treat our lands? Well, to me, it looks as if we treat our lands like cash register.
Yep.
Regardless of who it hurts, all you want to hear is cha-ching.
Yep. Money, money, money.
That's right.
What makes me the greatest profit? How do I expend the least amount of money out of my pocket to get my profit? We don't need to spell it out for you. We're all living it. And think about, this is something I want people to really think about. All of this that we're talking about is basically taken place in the last 150 years. Thousands of years, thousands, tens of thousands actually, to get to a point 150 years ago, and we've done vast damage. And a lot of this damage will not be able to be undone, not for generations and generations and generations, if ever. I mean, I'm personally one of these people who believe that we don't have a whole lot longer on this planet as a species, because we're certainly doing our very best
to strip it of everything it has and leave nothing behind.
That keeps us alive.
It just blows my mind when I hear people justify doing the wrong thing. When I hear people justify harming others. When I hear people say that nobody helped me, nobody did anything for me, so why should I care if I hurt somebody else? There's a lot of that. It's just mind-blowing to me how, there's a lot of nations out there that lack empathy for the human condition. I mean, you all drink water, you all breathe air, you eat food. How did you, just because you're wealthy, lose empathy? 100%. I don't care if that person eats. That's what they say. I don't care if they drink water. I'll just make sure there's stuff for me and mine, right?
And one day, it'll end up being you're the last poor whatever on the planet, and too late. Which kind of segues into how do we treat each other? Believe it or not, a whole heck of a lot worse than we treat the environment, animals, our water, and our lands. We treat each other like dog poo-poo. We really do. I mean, we have perfected killing each other for stupid reasons like religion, like I need to control you, so I'm going to go wipe out a whole village or city of people because I want control. I mean, you don't have to turn it on every day. It's in your own town. I mean, it's not like you have to turn on the news or anything. I mean, think about it. Go stand in line at a Starbucks and see how we treat each other. I mean, one of our children works at Starbucks, and I'm going to tell you what. He's had it with humanity, and he's far, far, far too young to be saying the things that he's saying. And I hear it. I feel him. I see it. We stand in line at the grocery store. We go to Walmart. We go to all these places everybody else goes, and we treat each other like crap. And some people, where they get this mindset that somehow they're vastly superior to everybody else, but everybody puts their pants on one leg at a time. Nobody stands stands up straight and things just float miraculously on their body. It just doesn't.
I think at some point, if we look at it from bottom to top, our children are segregated by wealth. If you live in this zip code, you get this kind of education. You live in this zip code, you only get this kind of education, which I've always looked at that as highly unfair. I think that everybody's pooled money should be equally shared, and every brain should be expanded to its maximum. Ex- you know, but it's not like that. Somehow, before I was even born, they decided if you were wealthy, your children get more than the children over here of the people that work for the wealthy, which is really unfair because these people made these people.
Yeah.
But their children don't get the benefit of that, which is unfair. This system is based on only a few getting everything. So we're treating our children unfairly, one. Then as we move up to women, women on this planet are always marginalized. We are. We're always told what to think, how to feel, what we can and can't do. There are people in the United States in 2025 that do not believe that I should be allowed to have a job, a voice, a vote, or any power over my children other than feeding them and clothing them for my husband's needs or whatever. And I have a problem with this. I think we've spoke about this before. The reason why I have a problem with it is in 2025, a man can dump a woman, divorce her, leave her with the children, and go start another family. The woman, i.e. me, is not allowed to work. So how am I going to put a roof over my child's head, food on my child's plate, if I'm not allowed to work, I'm not allowed to vote? So what does that make me? A servant. So do I go to his new house and become the servant of his next wife? Right? Or since a lot of women in this country are educated, what do you really think is going to happen when that man leaves? And leaves you with no food, no money, you won't have a checkbook, you won't have a bank account. Because way back when, in the 60s, women weren't allowed to have a bank account and write checks in the 50s and stuff like that. They had to get permission from their husbands. They had to get notes written from their husbands to buy cars and things like that. I'm not joking. Look it up. So I guess they want to go back to that, which you think the homelessness is bad now?
Yeah.
I'm not even playing with you. It is going to be nothing but women and children out there working in factories if they allow it. The streets will be littered with poor people because that's the way some men want it, which is highly unfair.
I think these people, I mean, let's first of all, I would personally like to call out. I mean, like I said a little bit earlier, I've gone through Project 2025 book a few times, and I was just kind of bouncing around looking at different things, and I'm just going to put it, we have a religious problem, at least a specific religion or two.
I'm not sure what 2025's religion is based on.
It's Christian.
Well,
Christian nationalism.
What?
It is. Christian nationalism. It says it all throughout the book.
Well, but it's hate.
It's all hate. And
I don't know if that's really Christian values.
Well, I tell you what I don't hear? I don't hear all the leadership of the Catholic religion. I mean, these people should be not daily. They should be hour by hour denouncing this stuff.
Well, my problem with saying that it's Christian values is that you and I were both raised Christian. I mean, I was in the Catholic Church, and nowhere does it say that a woman cannot feed her children and things like that. I've never read any of that. in the Bible that I read that she shouldn't be allowed to vote or anything like that. Not in the Bible I read.
95% of the stuff that I hear these people spew
I've
is
never
nowhere
heard any
near
of it.
the Bible.
That's why I question Christian values. I think they rewrote something that isn't in the Bible that I have. So, yeah, I don't even want to defame Christianity like that. I think this is a made-up sect or something.
Well, there's a heck of a lot of people in that made-up sect. And until I start hearing some people who are actually supposedly religious and the good religious, if there is such a thing, starts denouncing this stuff and actually doing... I mean, the Pope wields tremendous Christian power. Christianity. I mean, I guess Catholicism is a... I mean, this is where I get the loose whatever is... Christian, but then you have all these sects of Christianity. You're either Christian or you're not, I guess.
Yeah, but there's one book.
One book.
And let's go back to
a good point.
My point.
Yeah, let's go with the
book.
book.
There is one book. And to ask people to follow your interpretation of the book is not the book. Because we've all read it. And we all know that it doesn't say anything about, hurting people of color in there. It doesn't say anything about hurting women or taking away rights. It doesn't say that. That is an interpretation. It's an abomination as far as I'm concerned. Because the book that I read was light and love and acceptance. We accept you. We love you. We'll help you. We raise you. Lift you up. What they're talking about is separate, terminate,
destroy,
starve, abuse, all of these things that came from some other book that I'm not familiar with. And I will not, call it Christianity. I will call it whatever 2025 book. Because that is not what true religion and Bibles teach. Well, and I shouldn't be saying this. I shouldn't have to say this. The Pope should be out there every day saying this. And why isn't he? I have no idea. That is one of the richest men in the planet. Is he afraid to speak up for his people? Maybe that's why a lot of people are pulling away from the church. Defend it. And the ones that aren't, the ones that are, bastardizing it, and I'm going to use that word, he should stop that. So, yeah, I
want to correct one thing. You've read it. I've read it.
Not everybody has.
I'll guarantee you most of these fools haven't read it.
Yeah.
I'll guarantee you most of these fools have got like 3 or 4 verses. You run across those people who always seem to pull out a verse out their backside. It's like, oh, it's like, wait a minute.
In what context did you read that? And we all know.
I mean,
I don't know.
You didn't read the book.
No.
I've read the book. I've read the Bible. I've read the Quran. I've read the Book of Mormon. For all you Mormon people out there. Humans have destroyed. Anyways, yeah. It's a basis. Millions and millions and billions and trillions of people over the course of history have used religion explicitly to just absolutely treat each other horrendously.
It's not only that. If you look over the lifespan of humans, we've killed each other more on the basis of religion than any other thing. Not color, anything. It's always been religion. So one person's ideology is another person's sin. One person's sin is another person's crucible, and on and on and on. And I don't believe any of these religions mean to wipe out everybody else, unless it's written that way. But for me, if it lacks empathy, it has no place in a global society. It really shouldn't.
Well said. I'm gonna take that too. If your religion lacks empathy, it's not a religion. There we go. You know, I'll give you an example. I was literally earlier today just reading a story. It was one of those right into Dear Abby type things, and basically what it boiled down to was this family, and they were Jewish, lived on a street, and this group of people, this family moved in next door to them. Their children were like 9 and 6, and the child that moved in was 10, and they were ecstatic because
somebody to play with.
Yeah, now they were Christian nationals, and these people had taught their 10-year-old little boy that because the other little boy wasn't a Christian national, he was going to hell. And people want to know how this continues to be perpetuated.
Well, I always find it interesting when someone stands on a pulpit and this is for all religions, and points a finger and says, if you don't follow my religion, you're going to die. That means you really haven't studied your religion. Your religion is light and love. Love all, accept all. And you know that you can find a passage anywhere in that book and it says that. But to teach a child to hate, to me, that's a form of abuse, because you've just limited your child's ability to navigate this world. Instead of him seeing each person as they are, you've told him that segments of this planet are bad because they don't do what you do. So your child's going to look at everybody judgmental instead of enjoying the flavor of the world, the multicultural world, right? That would probably 99% would embrace him and show him what their lives are like and not judge him, because not everybody's out there to judge. And some of the people that are doing most of the judging, let's be honest, that's mean-spirited.
Yeah.
It is mean to tell other people they're not good because they don't do what you do. That's mean. It really is. And it lacks empathy. You prejudged people's character. How do you know that they're not a good person? You don't. You've judged them harshly, which is a mark on you, not them. That's just the way I feel. Well,
I'll tell you what, one thing you've definitely done is you've made them growing up and being a productive member of general society extraordinarily more difficult than it needed to be.
Because he's going to go in there hating on people right away. He's going to go in, and since you gave him, this, he's going to make enemies thanks to you right off the gate.
Yep.
And telling somebody they're no good, that's his first enemy. Because that doesn't instill that instills fear and hate. So, you think about cause and effect. Because you did this, this is what happens over here.
That's it.
So, it is. It is what it is.
Good place to end it, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, we've covered quite a bit today. And
think about it.
We, as members of the human race, there are some things we're proud of, for me or for him. And there's a lot of things we aren't. So, I hold my head down. I've been humbled by some wonderful people and just absolutely infuriated by others. So, yeah. Are we proud? Like I said, there are moments. But
I tell you,
we need more moments.
We are the Michael Jordan, Serena Williams, Tom Brady of just absolutely destructing ourselves.
Oh,
I mean, we're extraordinarily good at it. We are far better And we are far closer to wiping ourselves off the planet than we are saving ourselves.
You got that right.
And if anybody thinks that there's some magical bullet, plane, train, automobile, boat, whatever you want to call it, that's going to save even one person, when this all goes, we're all going. And there's not a single, there's no billions, no trillions, no nothing that is going to save you. And if we don't figure it out and we all start working together and start doing something about all of this, not just some of it, but all of it, because it all ties together, we're over. It's just a matter of time. And I guess the real question is did we really need to accelerate it? Because that's what we're doing. I'm good.
Yeah, but you're right. We do need to stop,
What a mess.
look, and listen to each other and fix the messes that we have. That's an old saying that I heard who knows where, but stop everything we're doing to do all this damage, look at all the damage, problem solve, and just listen to each other instead of talking over and deciding what everybody else needs when everybody else's needs are different. Don't assume everybody needs the same things.
in the words of a not so great movie, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure,
I haven't seen it.
Excellent to one another.
That's cute. I like it.
It is. George Carlin, good movie.
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves.
So right now, with our environment, animals, water, land, and treating each other, we're takers. And we need to fix this and become makers.
Ooh.
This is a public service show. And I'm Sandra.
And I'm Kirk.
And we need to fix, again, all of this. So he'll tell you where we can
thepublicservice.org. Go there. There's links. Takes you to our YouTube. Got a message board. Check it out. We need more participation, but thepublicservice.org.
Good show, hon. Good show.
You have been watching a public service show. America is part of a global community. Sandra and I are well aware that the American experience had the hope for freedom. America isn't perfect by any means, and we are currently having our freedoms tested. Here at the Public Service Show, we're going to look at how and why we're at this point in America.